How's it going, guys? Welcome to, as you guys already know, we're going to be talking about the Scream franchise, of course. So be sure to hit the like button and subscribe button as always. And yeah, so we're just going to wait for some people to get in here. And it looks like somebody's already watching. Looks like, anyways. But anyway, so yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. I am going to be doing a lot more live streams a lot more often now. And I know that I was saying that I was going to make more videos as well, but um, for right now, I'm just going to stick to doing some live streams for a little bit. And just to let you guys know too, tomorrow at 12:30. So before we start the stream, I just want to let you guys know beforehand. And you guys probably saw it on my YouTube channel. I usually schedule my streams. We are doing obviously at 12:30. At 12:30 tomorrow, we are going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Stu. We're going to be going over Stu theories and talking about Scream 7, and then later tomorrow night at 9:30, we're going to be talking about the Friday the 13th franchise and the Friday the 13th TV series. So I will be doing two live streams, obviously tomorrow, and I'm obviously going to be trying. I'm going to try to do it, a lot more often, because I feel like I need to do more for you guys. I feel, I haven't been doing much videos or anything. I mean, I did that Friday the 13th video. And I was actually trying to do a Scream 7 video, but I decided to put it on hold for now. And just try to do some live streams, And yeah, there is going to be content, of course, as well, but I just want to do some hangouts with you guys too, because it's fun. It's fun to theorize. It's fun to talk about Scream. Theorize about theorize about it. About Stu, about that's what makes Scream so much fun. That's why it's my favorite horror film, my favorite slasher film of all time, because you could theorize about stuff, and and it's just a lot of fun to me. But anyway, so yeah, we got obviously we already got two people in here. We got Scott Walker in the house, as always. He's our regular viewer, of course. You guys know. He said, "Hang on, Ghostface man. Welcome back, my friend. It's been a long time. I have lots to talk to you about screen a certain alligator movie called Crawl." Oh yeah, and I don't know if you saw my video, Scott Walker, but I had to take a break for a lot of reasonings. I just had to take a break for a little bit, but I am back. And we are going to continue. We're going to keep on grinding, So I do got a lot of, ideas, of course, of different live streams. And so obviously, I don't know if you probably heard what I was just saying, but obviously tomorrow at noon, we're going to be doing a Stu stream. We're going to be talking about Stu and Scream 7, of course. Just giving basically talking about basically predicting what we think is going to happen. And that's going to be at noon. And then obviously tomorrow night we're going to be doing a Friday the 13th franchise stream, and also we're going to be talking about the TV series as well. So yeah, we're going to be doing two streams in one day. So I just feel like I need to do more of that, for you guys. Because, again, I had to take a break. I haven't been, making that much content, And, yeah, I had to take a little break, as, everybody has to one way or another. But I'm back, so that's all that matters. And we're going to keep on grinding. How about you do a killer animal live stream one day? Uh, I mean, I don't really know about any of that because this is more of like a slasher channel. So I don't know about any of that, but because I'm not really a big fan of animal killer, like killer animal movies. You know, I'm not really big into it. So I'm gonna keep it to slashers because that's what this channel is. So that's what we mostly talk about on the channel. And I know one day I did go off topic a lot. We decided to talk about like superhero films, which I deleted that. I deleted that live stream because I felt like that was kind of like a stupid idea. You know, I mean, this is a horror channel, you know, and I don't even know why. But I was just thinking of something, you know, something different to do. But I just felt like it was. I don't think it was necessary. Now thinking about it, so I had to, you know, delete it off my channel because this is a horror channel. This isn't a superhero channel. Now, if I want to make a superhero channel, I could certainly do that. But this is a horror channel, so yeah, I just felt like I just felt like I had to delete that video delete that live stream because I don't know, I just felt like it was obviously I was you know I wasn't talking about horror, I wasn't talking about Scream, wasn't talking about Halloween or nothing. I wasn't talking about like slasher films, you know. So it was just like, yeah, we're gonna keep it to horror from now on. We're never gonna go off topic again. If I want to talk about if I want to talk about superhero films, I'll make a separate channel about superhero films. But as of right now, we're gonna keep the horror because that's what this channel is. Uh, so how cool would it be if they had a red ghost face robe? How cool would it be if we saw that in the Scream movie? A red robe only one by one of the killers. Do you think will work or won't? Do you think that will work or do you think it won't? Well, I don't know because the red robe is just kind of like the red robe. I mean, that really doesn't look right to me. You know, I feel like they just need to keep the traditional black robe because the black robe is, I feel, it's the most iconic. It's obviously been, you know, you know, it's iconic. So I don't think they should change it in any way to a different color because again, the black robe that's basically who Ghostface is, you know, and I just don't really see them changing the robe to like changing the color of the robe. It just, I don't know, it just looks kind of weird. Number one, number two, it's just kind of, this doesn't really match the character, you know. He's always had a black robe, so I don't think that would work personally. But of course, you know, a lot of people want to see new things, and I do too. But I don't want them to do that because I feel like that's just kind of changing, like, you know, the look of Ghostface, you know, and he's had the same look for obviously since 1996, of course. So I mean, it would be kind of weird for them to just change the robe, like change the color of the robe. Um, so yeah, I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think that it would work personally. That's just my opinion, but A while ago, I did a huge Scream movies marathon when I watched 1 to 6, and there was so many things as towards Stu being alive. Like the clue. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have not watched Scream 5 or Scream 6. I haven't went back and watched those films in a little while. Um, and you know what's crazy is that I actually have both of those films in DVD. I actually got I have streams. I got Scream 6 around, I think, like last spring, I would say, and I still haven't watched it. I still haven't got a chance to like rewatch it. Um, which is kind of crazy that I haven't rewatched it. But maybe one day I will want to do a Scream marathon where I watch every single movie in order. Um, but yeah, Scream 6. Yeah, that's crazy. I have not watched that ever since I watched it, of course, in theaters, which I haven't went back to it like since, because I don't know why, I just haven't really got a chance. But I do want to go back and watch it again because it is a I think it's a fun film. I definitely do think it's a fun film. It's not perfect, but it is fun. And I feel like it's a little better than Scream 5. But yeah, back to the Stu thing. Like, there's so many clues in Scream 5 and Scream 6, even in Scream 4. Um, there's so many clues. Like, people were saying that, that could have been him that was chasing like Sydney, like in Scream 3 on the Stab 3 set or whatever. Which I truly believe that as well, and it's very possible because, again, Ghostface is literally like teleporting the whole time, you know, basically teleporting. So, like, 1 minute he was outside, and then all of a sudden, in the next minute, he's already in the closet, like, that fast. So I don't know. Like, I think that's a possibility, though. Like, that he was also in Scream 3. Now, a lot of people, will say it was probably Angelina, but I think that it could have been Stu because, again, they had the original plan was to bring him back, in Scream 3, but it wasn't that they hated the idea, it was because of the Combine shooting. If the Combine shooting didn't happen, or didn't happen, I don't think, I think that they would have brought him back. I'm pretty sure. We would have already gotten him back in Scream 3. But again, the Combine shooting kind of prevented that. And a lot of people who hate Stu always go on to say that they were going to bring him back, but they didn't like the idea. And it's that's absolute lie, because they wanted to. It wasn't that they didn't like the idea, it was because of the Combine shooting. And if the Combine shooting didn't happen, I'm pretty sure they would have brought him back 100%, because they had that they really, really liked the idea. So yeah, I truly believe we would have got him in Scream 3. The other night I was looking at Scream fan made films. Was there one film here in Australia, my hometown, is called Woodsboro Slasher? Check it out. Oh yeah, I certainly will. There's a lot of good fan films out there, that I like watching, because they're just so well made. A lot of these young filmmakers are just so good at at that, making creative films. And if we could at least get that too, because a lot of these films today are just not as like creative. Um, which if we could also get that, like have all these like young filmmakers, make films, well, I'll take that, because at least they're creative. Hey, buddy, just wanted to stop and say hi. I just got off work and I miss you. How you doing? I'm doing really good. So long story short, I know it's kind of a long story, or it's not really that long of a story, but I had to take a break for a little bit. I just had to back off for just a little bit, um, because it kind of got a little tough after a while, and I really wasn't as consistent as I should be, in my opinion. Like, I don't think that I don't feel like I was doing enough, I don't feel like I was being as much, I don't feel like I was being consistent, because it was just kind of hard to like keep up with making videos, okay, live streams aren't that hard, but it's just making videos. Like, you have to be so like consistent at making videos as well, not just live streams. And I don't feel like I've been doing that. I haven't been consistent, making videos, especially videos. Um, and I do need to get better at that. It just gets a little hard at times, because it's just a lot of work. You gotta, when you have a YouTube channel, you're supposed to stay consistent, like 100%. And I don't feel like I've been doing that. I don't feel like I've been consistent enough. So I wanted to just back off, take a break for a little bit, but obviously I'm back. So, and obviously there is more. So I don't know if obviously you weren't here when I was talking about. I was telling Scott that we are doing a so tomorrow at noon we're going to be doing a stew stream. So we're going to be talking about Stu Macher, of course. We're going to be going over, I guess, like Stu theories, basically predictions for Scream 7. And then tomorrow night at 9:30, we're going to be talking about the Friday the 13th franchise and TV series. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing 2 streams, which I've never done. So should be a lot of fun though, especially talking about, especially that stew stream at noon. That's going to be a lot of fun. I love fan made. Oh, I do too. Like a lot of them are just so well done, and it makes you feel like it's actually like an official film sometimes. Just the way that some of the films look. Like there's this one guy named Joshua Dudley. I don't know if you know who he is, but he makes like stab films. Like he makes Scream fan films or whatever. And I don't know if you guys know who he is, but obviously he makes like stab films. Obviously, which is Scream fan films or whatever. And yeah, he does a really good job. So you guys should definitely go check him out. And those movies are really, really like so well done. Like, but yeah, he's definitely good at making movies. Do you think Nev Campbell, Matthew Lillard, Seven Cheekies, very silent? Well, you know why she's not saying nothing is probably because that's basically like giving away the secret. You're giving away, you're basically giving it all away, like basically spoiling everyone, and that's what you don't want. You don't want nobody to spoil anything and come out and just say straight up that he's coming back. Like, there's no way. If there was a character that supposedly died that is rumored to return, you're not going to sit there, even if you're not going to sit there and say that, come out and just straight up say that he's coming back. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, you're not going to come out and just say that because you're basically like spoiling everyone, you know? So, of course, they're going to, lie about it, you know? That's what I would expect. I would want them to lie to me about it because I don't want them to spoil it for me. So yeah, there's a reason for that. If she truly does know 100% that he's back and that he's going to be in the film, well, she's not going to come out and say again because that's spoiling the movie for everyone. So changed my name, but I like it better. Oh, I like it too. I like it. Tatum Clemens, huh? Yeah, I like that name. I also like your other name too, but yeah, that's a good name. I understand that it's so tough. I couldn't do it anymore since I moved to New Mexico and got my love for a full-time job. Nice. That's really that I'm happy for you. And I understand. Yeah, YouTube can be tough. As I was saying, it's very, very difficult at times, and because you got to have that mindset, to be willing to make videos, like many, many videos, like, and be consistent at it, and do live streams. Like, those are the things that I feel like that I wasn't like I wasn't doing that at all, for a while there, like, because like people don't realize YouTube is not easy. It's definitely not easy. It's not an easy thing to do because you got to keep making videos. You got to keep making content. You got to keep doing live streams. But am I going to quit YouTube? Absolutely not. Because I have so many viewers, so many subscribers. I'm not going to just quit YouTube. Like, I'm not giving up all those subscribers, all the content that I have. There's just no way that I'm giving that up. Like, no way. I mean, I put so much work into all those videos that I have on my account, and I don't want to delete my channel and just quit. That's just, I'm never going to do that. I'm just letting you guys know that, like, I'm not ever going to quit YouTube or anything like that. Like, I'm not going to quit YouTube, like, ever. Like, I'm always going to do it 100%. Like, and sometimes if I disappear for some reason, it's because I had to step away. That's the only, no, that's the real reason why. If I disappear, it's because I had to, take a break. It's not because I'm quitting or anything like that. Glad you're back. So happy. Yes. I'm happy to be back, and I've been again, I just haven't been consistent. And I need to be more consistent at it. Number one, I need to be more consistent at making videos. Need to be more consistent at doing live streams. Now, and that's the number one thing that obviously, if you guys don't know, obviously Craven Something Scary, he was the one that motivated me, to make a channel. Well, he was telling me that, the key is that if you want, the main thing is obviously you have to be consistent at making videos and also doing live streams. Because that's the only way that you're gonna get more like viewers. Is if you're more consistent at, which I do have new viewers. There was new viewers that I didn't even know that there's some people that found me somehow, like, so I do got some new faces that have been joining me on my channel. So, which is really good to see that that I've gotten new viewers, basically like new faces that I haven't seen. So yeah, I'm absolutely just, I appreciate everyone's support, and again, I'm not going to quit doing this. I'm going to keep on going. Even if it gets tough at times, I'm still going to keep on going, because obviously I got a lot of viewers, got a lot of content on this channel, and I don't want to give any of that up. That's just a lot of work. All that work basically just thrown to all just thrown away, like, you know what I mean? And I don't want to do that. Like, I just don't want to. I don't want to delete. And another thing too, that I like doing this. I like talking. Horror films, slashers, obviously Scream. There's just no way I'm gonna delete this channel. I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting YouTube. Nice. I have to work till 4:30, but I love to see you at my lunch break. Stu coming back. Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Stu coming back. Hey, fingers crossed. Let's hope that he's gonna be back, because again, I'm not getting my hopes up, but I really do hope that he does come back, because it just seems like it's like Scream 5, Scream 6. Like all the Easter eggs, it seems like it just seems like that's where they're going, like, with it, like. But again, I'm not going to sit here and get my hopes up, because I don't really know 100%. Because I don't want to go into the movie like being like disappointed if he's not in the film, you know. It just seems that way though. Like, just watching Scream 5 and Scream 6, and even the previous Scream films, even Scream 4 and 3, there's just so many Easter eggs. Like, I feel like even in Scream 4, when a lot of people theorize that he was in Scream 4, and that's also very possible as well, And that one scene, where he's basically, again, just teleporting, and the killer is actually attacking. If you don't remember too, the killer is attacking like Jill as well. So it wasn't her. So it had to have been someone else. It had to have been Stu. Because if she was the second killer, but she was getting attacked, but you had like basically he was like teleporting, like I mean that goes to I mean that that goes to like show like I think it's very possible, and a lot of people always rule it out, but I don't rule it out because I've always believed that I've always believed that I always believed that he survived the TV. Like even though they didn't bring him back in Scream, obviously in Scream 3 because of the combine shooting there, I still think that Wes Craven put a lot of these clues in the film still because he had plans, he had plans to bring him back. So I just hope it happens. I really do. I hope it happens. A lot of people are saying since Kevin Williamson is going to be directing Scream 7, they say it's going to ruin any chance for Stu returning. Do you believe what those people are saying or not? Well, because people always say that, oh, well, Kevin Williamson has come out and said that Stu is dead and all that. Well, just because Kevin Williamson says that doesn't necessarily mean he's telling the truth. Because again, you're not going to sit there and just come out and just tell people straight up, that he's not, that he's alive. You're not going to sit there and come out again, and you're not going to sit there and spoil it for everyone. So yeah, you're not going to spoil the movie for anyone. So of course he's going to say that he's dead. That's what I expect him to say. Because I don't want him to spoil it for me. So because again, if people truly know that he's 100% gonna be in the film, they're not gonna come out and say it 100%. They're not gonna flat out. They're not gonna come out and flat out say that he's gonna be in the film, like, Of course, they're gonna lie about it. Of course, he's gonna lie about it. I'm not saying that he is lying about it, but I'm saying that if Stu is truly back, and if Matthew Lillard is in the film, of course he's gonna lie about. Of course he's not. Of course he's not. Of course he's gonna lie about it and say that he's dead, because then people are gonna be. He's gonna get people speculating about him being dead, but then it turns out that all of a sudden he's in the film. Which that's what I expect out of him. I expect that out of anyone that says, that he's not in the film. I want them to lie to me, because I don't want them to. That'd be spoiling everyone, and nobody would want to go watch Scream 7 at that point. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to go into Scream 7 being surprised, then nobody wants to go in already knowing what's going to happen, because that's just not as fun. It's not fun at all when it comes to like Scream, any film really. Scream though. I think Scream. I feel like if you spoil something, it's like, I don't know. It's just like a different. because it's a whodunit film, you know. So it's a little different from like Halloween and Friday the 13th and all that because it's only one killer. But as this movie, it's multiple killers. You know, you have different killers in every movie, so it's just like spoiling it for people, like spoiling like because there's a lot of people that spoiled Scream 6. You know, they were trying to like basically spoil it for everyone, which that's, you know, you're basically ruining it. You know, you're ruining it for everyone at that point. If you sit there, you know, you tell them, "Oh, well, this person's gonna be back." Like, you're not gonna, you're not gonna tell everyone that you're not gonna tell anyone like the truth. They're gonna lie about it because that's what I would do, and that's what I would expect for for everyone, like everyone else to do as well. I would want them to, I guess, like lie about it, like and got to go cook dinner. I'll definitely try and come tomorrow. Love the glasses. Have a great stream. You're amazing. Keep going with your channel. Thanks. I really appreciate it. And yeah, be sure to try to make it on your lunch break um, tomorrow. I would definitely appreciate it. But yeah, have a great dinner, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow at 12:30. Just say this in Scream 7. Sydney's getting kidnapped by the cult of Ghostface, but she gets a phone call, but not by Ghostface, but someone no, from her past. She recognizes the voice and Stu. Well, I don't really want that. I just want to. I want. I want them to do like a kind of like an unmasking thing. I don't know, like a phone call thing, but I guess it would be all right. But I want to see him like unmask and just like see like her reaction to it. You know, I think that would be better personally. But yeah, I've always been talking about the whole what if like the cult like kidnaps like your kids or something like that, and maybe that's how like if Mark and Cade comes back, if he returns, they bring him back. Of course, really don't know 100%, but they bring him back. Well, maybe that's how he gets involved again because you know Ghostface or the cult basically kidnaps his kids, and he has to And I'm not saying that again. I don't want Mark and Cade to come back to get killed. Like that's the only thing I don't want. I want him to survive if he is in the whole film. Like I want him to survive. Because then you're just bringing him back just to kill him. But like I was saying, if Mark and Cade ends up coming back and his kids get kidnapped by the cult or something like that, like something, and well, maybe that's how he gets involved again. Like, you know, maybe that's how he gets involved again. How he starts going after the killer, trying to find the killer, kind of like in Scream 3. Like, so yeah, that I really like that idea. Definitely like that idea for sure. Scream 7 is going to be an interesting film. You know, I really think it is going to be an interesting film. Rather if we get Stu or not, I have no idea if we're getting Stu or not. But I do think it's going to be a good film. It's definitely going to be a great it's basically like another. It's supposed to be another like trilogy, I guess. But a lot of people, okay. So a lot of people said that Scream 4 or that Scream 6 was actually the trilogy. Because Scream 4 was obviously attached to, well, Scream 4 is, I think Scream 5 is a follow up from Scream 4. So a lot of people put Scream 4, 5, and 6 like together. So that would mean that, yeah, Scream 6 would be like, I guess, like your real like trilogy, I guess, in a way. But we're talking about like this is a trilogy for, because obviously Radio Silence isn't involved anymore. So, but Scream 5, Scream 6, of course, those are Radio Silence films. Those weren't Wes Craven films. So, yeah. So I definitely think that people, that's the way I look at it, because obviously Wes Craven, sadly passed, and Radio Silence, basically they're Radio Silence films 5 and 6, so they're not, so they're different, if you know what I mean. Even though, yeah, it's a follow up, it's like it's different though. Like, so basically, like Wes Craven characters can't. I don't know how it works. So Wes Craven characters can't be in a Radio Silence film. Like, they can't be like a final girl or a final, like, the main character or something, and they're not going to be like the same. Like, kind of like Kirby, how Kirby was in Scream 4. Well, she wasn't the same in Scream 6. Like, she was totally different. So, you know what I mean? Just like Stu, if Stu comes back, he's not going to be the same as he was in 1996. He's going to be totally different. He's going to be like way like darker, So even though, yeah, I want him to be the same, he's just not going to be the same, because obviously it's a different directors and whatnot, different studio. But I am glad that Kevin Williamson is coming back, because I felt like I felt like Kevin Williamson, he understands Scream, he understands it, and he always put together great stories, So I'm glad that he's coming back. What are the chances that we'll return to Woodsboro and Stu's house, or how cool will it be if they had the final battle at Cindy's old house? Uh, as I was saying, I think that having Stu's house in the film would make a lot more sense, just because obviously that's where he used to live. And if we do go back to, let's just say that we have like one half of the film is in Hollywood, then the other half is in Woodsboro. Well, I would actually like that. I would actually like to see like a split, so we're not like in one location the whole film. Like we could do like a different locations and you know what I mean? Like we could do like a split. So, but I think that makes a lot more sense for him to have the final battle be at his house, like because obviously that's where he lived and that's where So I think that like a lot of people are wondering like how come they didn't have like how come they weren't able to use the original house in Scream 5? Well, I think that was because either number one, the owners, or because of COVID during that time. But I want to see Stu's like original house in this film. If he does come back, if he does return, I want to see his original house. Now, if we go back to Sydney's old house, I wouldn't mind that either. But I think having Stu's like original house in the film, I think that would make a lot more sense for like the end, like for the final like battle. You know what I mean? Um, if he comes back, of course, which I don't know 100% if he is, but I really, really hope. I really hope he does. Yeah, so it would make a lot more sense to have the original house in the film. And yeah, and I would also like to see Sydney's original house as well. And I've actually been talking about that as well. Like I would like to see her possibly maybe like living there again. I don't know if that's a thing now, but that would be really really cool if it turns out she like lives at her original house or something from Scream 1996. What are the chances that we'll return to Woodburn? Oh, yeah, I already read that. Sorry. Since Amber was killed, what do you think happened to Stu's house? Do you think her family sold it, or do you think it's going to be abandoned? Uh, I think that it's probably going to be a little bit of both. It's probably going to be abandoned and also like just look really like old, you know. Especially like what's this? Let's just say that Stu lives there again, like secretly, and he basically like lives in an abandoned house. Well, that would be. I would actually like that idea a lot, um, because you don't really know that he still lives there, you know. But yeah, I think that having the house like be, I guess, abandoned, I think that would make a lot more sense because it would be pretty like old too. Um, well, if you're gonna bring like Stu's original house, like from 1996, if you're gonna bring that house back, well, it should definitely be abandoned for sure because obviously that was back in 1996, and so it would be like old now, you know. So I think that like having his house, like his original house in the film, and having it be abandoned, that would be, I would like it. especially if they bring him back and it turns out that he lives there somehow still, which that would be. I would also like that too. Let's just say that he secretly like lives there still. That would be interesting. But yeah, I definitely like that idea. Just like kind of like similar to, which I don't want to get too much off topic, but like kind of similar to Resurrection, uh, Halloween Resurrection, where you see Michael's house. Well, it's like abandoned or whatever, but he still lives there. So that would be actually cool if they did a scenario where, like, if Stu comes back and Stu is alive or whatever, and where he just like still lives there somehow, like, and they don't know that he lives there, but he's like secretly. Man, I really love that idea a lot. That would be a good idea. That's what I would do. Um, but yeah, that would definitely be a great idea. I love that idea. How would a Stu? How would Stu get around Woodsboro without people recognizing him if he's alive? He's still living. Why don't everyone recognize him? Well, maybe he's not walking around Woodsboro. Maybe he's like basically just hiding. Maybe he's in like a hideout or something. You know, because when you fake your death, right? You basically change like everything. Like you change your identity. You change like everything. Because basically, when you fake your own death, you basically sometimes could also you basically start you're starting like a whole new like life. Basically, you're basically like starting over. If you know what I mean, like so when you fake your death, of course, you're basically like starting over again. And when you obviously some people obviously often like change like their identity and whatnot. So that's basically another thing too that I think that people don't really understand that. Like when you fake your death, you obviously you change your identity, you change everything, like you change your name and whatnot. So people are not gonna like recognize him because obviously number one, he's obviously older now. And plus he is if he is truly alive, he's probably like in hiding somewhere. Like possibly somewhere in Woodsboro still. If because obviously he was supposedly in Scream 5 and that was in Woodsboro. So of course he must be around there somewhere, like, you know. That's what that's just my theory anyways. Like I think that he's somewhere around there, like still. But he's obviously not obviously like coming out, you know, because he's in he's like hiding, and he's obviously killing people too still. So and people just don't know that he is. So I think there's a lot of things that they could do, you know. Like a lot of people talked about like the prison thing. Well, the prison thing doesn't really make sense because if he was supposedly in Scream 5 and he was supposed to be in prison, well, how was he in prison if he was, killing people still, you know? in Scream 5 and even Scream 6. So that doesn't really make sense. Um, that doesn't really make that much sense to say that, you know, he's in prison still, because if it was him that killed Dewey, and if it was him that killed, obviously, that attacked Gale in Scream 6, well, and obviously Tara in Scream 5 in the opening scene, well, then that means that he's not in prison. He's obviously out and about still. So I think that he's secretly still around, like around that, you know, Woodsboro. That's just my theory. So one day one day would you do a full wire stream at Access without? Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to do that, dude. Honestly, but sadly, I will not be able to do any of that. But since Amber's been killed in the family and sold, all abandoned the house has been there. Not to hide out there without people recognizing him. If you know, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think that he could be like living there still, like secretly living there. Like nobody actually knows. All they know is that the house is abandoned, right? But they don't know that he still lives there. Like that's really the only thing. So I think that if they do that, as I was saying, I like that idea a lot. If they decide to do something like that, kind of similar to the Halloween films, you know, where the house was abandoned, Michael was still living there in his house still, like, even though it was like old, like, which I know we're talking about Scream, but it's kind of similar to that, like. But yeah, it's definitely very interesting, and also if he's like a cult leader, well, a lot of people's got other theories about like Jill, about Charlie Walker, about, you know, obviously Angelina, right? Which the Angelina thing, I really do want to see her, but at this point, I don't think that we are going to see her, you know? I do want to, because obviously because I think out of all the characters that makes the most sense to like be alive right now, I think like the main characters that I really truly think makes the most sense is obviously Stu and Angelina. Those are the two characters I think makes the most sense. And the reason why I say that is because about Angelina, especially because Angelina's name was not on the official kill list or anything like that. So, and that kind of, you gotta kind of ask yourself, like why was her name not on there? Um, and there could be like a reason for that, like, you know. And also too, And also too, like people always tell me that that Jill is gonna be back, or that Charlie Walker's gonna be back, or which I don't agree with. Like a lot of people will tell me that Jill only got shot in the chest, which okay, she did, but she also got electrocuted too. So that doesn't really make too much sense to me, especially if she got the paddles to the head or whatever. She's basically, you're gonna have brain damage. You're gonna be basically brain dead, and I don't know how you'd be able to live all these years after getting, electrocuted like that. Um, and that's what I always keep on telling people. Like, people that are not in the Stu train, that are on the Jill train, or the Jill helicopter. I don't know what the Jill bus. No, that's actually Angelina. Angelina's the Angelina bus, and then Stu's obviously Stu train. Uh, but yeah, Jill. Like a lot of people always tell me, like the people that believe that Jill's alive over Stu, like always tell me that it doesn't make sense that Stu could be alive, or that it's not possible. They're basically saying that it's not possible that he could survive a TV. But what's the difference between a paddle and a TV? Okay, a paddle, you're basically getting electrocuted. Like, you're getting electrocuted. As where a TV, you're not getting electricity's not flowing through the front of the glass. You know what I mean? It's mostly flowing in the back. So there's a big difference there between paddles and a TV. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people always say, well, she was still walking around even when she got electrocuted. Yeah, she was, but she didn't look that great, is what I'm saying. Like, she did not look that great. I mean, she was like nearly like wobble. She was like wobbling, like she couldn't like stand up, like really. You know what I mean? So even though, yeah, she did get up still. She did get up still, but honestly, I don't know how her brain like functioned all these years. You know what I mean? After getting electrocuted like that. Like, even though she was wobbling. Or she did get up, but she was also wobbling too when she got up. So, and they say, yeah, she just got shot once in the chest. Well, and that's the reason why she could be alive. And yeah, and Wes Craven did have a plan to bring her back. So I guess that's a valid point to say that, Wes Craven also had that plan to bring her back originally in Scream 5. But he, sadly passed and it never happened. Okay. But now I don't think the new directors are going to do that. Like, I don't think that they're going to do that. Like, I could be wrong, but, and maybe Kevin Williamson is going to be, bring Jill back, and maybe she's like somehow like working with Stu or something where, which I wouldn't, as I was saying, I don't hate Jill. I like her character a lot. She's one of my favorite killers in the franchise, But, and people always say that I hate her, and I don't hate her. I don't think that she's gonna survive paddles. I don't think that's possible. Especially if your brain is like completely like fried. I just don't think that's I don't think that's possible. So that I mean that's really the only thing that I'm saying. I'm not saying that I hate Jill. I mean, Jill's actually one of my favorite characters in the Scream franchise. Like one of my favorite killers, anyways. She was definitely one of the best. Definitely better than Miss Loomis and Amber. Definitely better than those two. And yeah, I don't hate her at all. I actually liked her character a lot. She was like one of the best parts about Scream 4. But again, we gotta look. We gotta look at. We gotta be real here. We gotta be realistic. That if somebody gets electrocuted with paddles, you're not gonna survive that. Like, and of course, yeah, that she did get up still, and somebody was telling me that, well, she still got up even after getting electrocuted. Well, yeah, she did, but then she got shot. She got shot in the heart. It looked like so. So I don't believe. Yeah, I don't believe that you could survive any of that personally, especially getting shot in the heart. I mean, people will say that you're going to survive getting shot in the heart, but that's just not humanly possible. Like, it's not realistic. Just clean up my house and get up one target. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Gotta do what you gotta do. When Charlie Walker gets stabbed by Jill in the stomach, in the chest, I've had a lot of reports. People have survived being stabbed in the chest and stomach, so he could be alive. I mean, yeah, but then again, he got stabbed in the heart, though. How many people can survive getting stabbed in the heart? I mean, let's just be realistic. And I'm not just saying that just because I don't like the Charlie character. I mean, I didn't like him at all. I didn't care for him. But that's not the only reason why I don't think he's alive or anything. I just look at realism. Like nobody's gonna survive getting stabbed in the like nobody's gonna survive a stab to the heart. Like you're more than likely you're gonna die instantly, like right there. Getting stabbed in the heart like that. So yeah, that's why I don't think it's realistic. I don't think it's realistic. Now, I have heard a lot of the same things that you have, that a lot of people have survived that before. Which is it's a thing that, yeah, there's been many people that survived that kind of stuff. But this is, I don't know. The Charlie thing is just, I don't know. I could be wrong. And maybe he is working with Stu somehow. And same with Jill. Maybe they are all working together. Or maybe it's just Jill and Stu, which I've also heard that as well. Which I've also heard. I heard somebody in the chat. So I was just watching a live stream a little bit ago, and somebody came up with the idea and said, like, what if there was a thing where, like, Stu and Jill were in the same, like, obviously working together, and like Jill ended up, or like Stu like ends up like portraying like Jill, just like Jill did to Charlie. Well, I was thinking like that would be I would actually like that a lot, you know. But then again, I had to look at realism. I had to look at, how a character died, Like I just can't see anybody like surviving a like paddles to the head, like, I just can't see that. But again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but which I would actually like that. What's to say there's a scenario where Stu like ends up like betraying. He betrays Jill or something, and he like stabbed her, kills her, kind of like how she did to Charlie. Which I would actually like that idea. That would again. I don't hate Jill. I just I look at realism, which I know it's very possible. Obviously, movies ain't always like realistic. So I mean, I could see a scenario where they do bring her back somehow, like even though she got electrocuted with those paddles, I can still see them trying to bring her back, possibly. But I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it because and people are saying that Emma Roberts wanted to come back. So that basically confirms that she's going to be back. That doesn't really confirm nothing. That just means that she wants to come back. And she may come back, who knows? Because again, that was the original plan for Scream 5. She was supposed to come back. She's basically like her and Kirby were supposed to like, I guess, go to like college together or something. That was basically like the plan. Basically, like Kirby wasn't gonna know that Jill was like a killer or anything, because obviously that was the original plan. Anyways, that's what they were gonna do, but then sadly, Wes Craven passed away, so they didn't do that. But yeah, I mean, if this is Wes Craven, then yeah, I would say it's definitely a possibility. You know, but I don't think it's going to happen now. The real mystery for me is about Jill and what happened to her father. Even though her mother was killed and her daughter, what happened to the father? That is the real mystery. Where is her dad? That's really interesting as well. That's another thing that we don't know. Like what happened to her father? What happened to like did he get killed? Did she secretly like kill him or something like that? Because a lot of people, do crazy stuff, especially a lot of psychos. So I'm just kind of like theorizing a little bit and like kind of similar to like Sam. Like a lot of people say that she killed like her father or something, which that's definitely, something that's that's very possible. But in this instance, what if that's like what if that is what really happened? What if like Jill like secretly like killed him or something? because obviously she was like a psycho. So I mean, hey, who knows? I mean, she killed her mom, so who's to say that she wouldn't have killed her dad too? Amber was a bit crazy and obsessive. If you ask me, she was more crazier than Jill was. Jill was more focused and can you saw how crazy Amber was in Scream 5. Did you see that she was crazy? Or I can't understand what you're saying, but uh yeah, I understand where you like yeah, like Amber may have been more like crazier, but I think that Jill was like more of like a psycho. So if you had to pick between the two, obviously I'm gonna go with Jill, of course, because I feel like Jill was this all around this better character, you know. Amber, yeah, she was like crazy. More, I would say she was probably more crazy, but I feel like Jill was like just more of like a psycho, you know. I like those shades. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you for joining me. Who got molested? I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody got molested. We were talking about theories. We were talking about Jill, like what happened to her father. Do you think they can actually make a good sequel, or is it time for a reset? Uh, it's kind of questionable right now. I really don't know how good they'll like make this film as of right now because there's a lot of people that don't really trust like what these new directors, they don't really trust them, which I guess is kind of fair, because Radio Silence didn't do they didn't do a perfect job either. Like I feel like Scream 5 was absolute dumpster fire. Like I'm not saying that it was terrible, but it certainly wasn't like great. Like the character development, all that stuff wasn't good. They didn't have any chase scenes. So it just seemed like they didn't really understand like what Scream was. But like now, obviously now we got like new directors. We got obviously Kevin Williamson coming back. So that's another thing um that's another thing that that kind of makes me feel a little better about it because the fact that Kevin Williamson is coming back, because I feel like Kevin Williamson, he understands like Scream, he understands Scream, he's always written like good like great stories. I felt like, especially going back to like obviously 1996, Scream 2, of course. he wasn't able to do Scream 3, so that could have been the reason why a lot of people hated that film. Then he returned for Scream 4, which I felt like was probably like the last like great Scream film personally. Um so yeah, I mean, it's really kind of hard to say if they can make a good sequel, but I'm gonna give them a chance. I'm really gonna give them a chance here because obviously, Kevin Williamson is coming back, and we all know Kevin Williamson's always good at making story, telling stories. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give them a break. I'm gonna give them, or not a break. I'm gonna give them a chance. I'm gonna give them a chance. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Um, until I see the film, But yeah, like Kevin Williamson is, I trust him a lot because he understands. Again, he understands Scream. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good one, personally. It is in the novelization. Oh, I don't know what he's saying. He's probably finishing something there. When we see Sydney and Dewey talking at Angel's house, there was a moment there between them. How cool would it be if they actually became a couple instead of Gil and Dewey got married? Oh, that would have been crazy if like Dewey and like Sydney got together or something. I actually wanted, originally back in Scream and Scream and sorry, Scream 2. So Scream 1996, Randy obviously was had a crush on Sydney or whatever. Well, I was hoping to see like Randy and Sydney get together, like in Scream 2. That's what I was really hoping for, because obviously he had like a crush on her. Man, he should have got the girl. Honestly, I really do. I truly believe that. They should have did that, but sadly they didn't. But yeah, but Dewey and Sydney being in a relationship, that'd be that'd be a little weird in a way, just because they've always been friends, you know. And Gail and Sydney are friends too, so it kind of would have been a little like weird, I guess, in a way. But hey, I would have liked it. That would have been pretty cool. In the novelization, it says that Jill's father left his family for a black woman who worked at the school. He told Jill he wanted to change his luck. This sent Jill down to the wrong path. Oh, yeah, I could believe that as well. Like, I could believe that maybe her father wasn't in her life or something, where she just chose to like do bad things, which a lot of people do that, even in real life. Like, when somebody doesn't have a good family, doesn't have good, I guess, like good parents, well, they're gonna turn to bad things and do bad stuff, you know. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, any truth to the rumors that Ghostface won't be in the new movie? Sydney is fighting illegal Mexicans that are crossing the border. Uh no, that's not true. Ghostface is going to be in the new film, and whoever said that are basically people that are just saying that just to cause speculation, just to try to get attention. You know, there's no way that there's no way possible that we're gonna have a Scream film with no Ghostface in it. That's not possible at all. Like, whoever said that basically are just trying to get attention from other people, you know? So I don't think that's true at all. I don't think that we're gonna get a Scream film with no Ghostface. That would be an absolute dumpster fire if that happened. You know, that would be I wouldn't call it a Scream film at that point if Ghostface wasn't in it. Nick's Horror Channel. How's it going, man? Thank you for popping in. I appreciate the support. Really means a lot. See, I'm getting a lot of new faces that I haven't seen on the channel. Dewey and Tatum getting together. Dewey and Tatum getting together. No, they were brother and sister, so that would never. And plus, Tatum's dead, and they're both dead now. And that would never. Yeah, that would never happen. Even if they were, that would be weird. Do you think that Dewey was rolling over in his grave seeing Gale with a black man and Scream 6? Probably. You would think so. And by the way, speaking of Dewey, I want to see more Easter eggs of him, you know. I want to see something to where we're like, if we like see like maybe like his grave or something. Maybe not like a funeral, but because obviously if they were going to do a funeral of him, they should have did that in Scream 5. But now I think that like seeing like his gravestone or something would be pretty cool. We need more like of a mention, you know, we need a mention of him. Like, but yeah, you would think that he would be rolling in his grave over that. I mean, statistically speaking, Gail will probably be a single mom soon. Yep, I think so as well, because if that happened, well, I definitely think that Gail is probably going to end up dying in this film. I've been saying that, but obviously I could be wrong. You know, I could definitely be wrong. But I do definitely see her dying in this film, 100%. And the reason why I say that is because Scream 5, she barely survived Scream 6. You know, she got attacked in Scream 6. And I thought she was 100% going to die. 100%. 110%. Like, when she got, like, attacked, I was like, man, yeah, she's done. Like, she's done with, you know? But then she, you know, ended up, you know, surviving, which was good to see. I was happy to see that she ended up surviving. But yeah, I thought 100% that she was dead. Like, in that scene. Do you see any similarities between Amber and Stu? Did you see anything, Stu? No. Nope. I didn't see any similarities. Well, I guess kind of, but not really. And that would have been crazy if Stu and like Amber were like related to each other. That would have been crazy to see, like, or crazy to find out. It turns out maybe like Amber, like his nephew or his niece or something, or because why would Amber like be able? How did she get to? How did she buy that house? You know, that's the thing that I don't. That's the thing I always wonder. Like, how did she basically get to buy the house? You know, because maybe she's related to Stu. Do you think that we should be more transgender and screen? Not really. No, because I don't think horror movies are about that. You know, they're more about having fun, and obviously jump scares, and they're not about that. Like so, and I don't think that they should be like that. Personally, a lot of fake rumors out there. No way Sydney would live near Mexicans. No, absolutely not. So many rumors out there, man. Like people come up with anything just to get attention. You know, like there's just no way that we're getting a screen film with no ghost face. People who say that are just making up rumors, spreading rumors out there. You know, like it's not by a real source. It's just by somebody just making up rumors. Like, you know, unless it's a real source that comes out and says that, well then, let's just say like the directors of Scream 7. Well, at that point, well then, then that could be true. But somebody just coming out making rumors, just saying randomly that Ghostface isn't going to be in the film. I mean, that's just straight rumors. That's somebody just trying to get attention. I feel, anyways. There's a lot of rumors out there, a lot of fake news out there. That people come up with anything just to get attention sometimes. I like to always say, if you're gonna so if you're gonna hear like stuff like that and it's from like the directors or something, okay, then at that point, then it's true, more than likely, because they're the directors. But if it's just somebody out there just spreading rumors, spreading fake news, just to get attention, well then that's just fake news, Unless it's like confirmed by the studio or by people that are actually making the film. This new killer needs a motive. I feel like the last few installments, that's what been missing. Like example, like example, this killer is upset because all the blacks, Mexicans that had invaded Woodsboro. Yeah, yeah, I definitely think so as well. Like I was saying, like Amber, like Richie, I didn't really like their motives. I didn't like Ethan's, or I didn't really like any of their motives at all. I mean, Scream Six was like, I feel like Scream Six was a little better, but it still wasn't a perfect film. Like it feels like it's like the same old like motive every film. You know, we just need to change it up and do something different. You think we need a prequel? Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that. Sub. Oh, I appreciate it, man. I really do, man. I really appreciate it. Be on the lookout, obviously, for more live streams. And by the way, guys, for those of you that weren't here when I announced, um, so tomorrow at noon, I'm going to be doing a stew stream. So we're going to be talking about like the like stew theories, and also Scream Seven. Basically predicting Scream Seven, like what we think could happen. Um, we're going to be doing that at noon tomorrow at 12:30, and then at 9:30 tomorrow night, we're going to be talking about the Friday the 13th franchise, and also the TV series. So be sure to be on the lookout for that, of course, especially at 12:30. And I know that's a lot of people's like lunchtime, you know, when they go to like work. But if you could like join me while you're at work during lunch, I would appreciate it. Or at least hit the like button. We really need Dewey's gravestone. I agree. Yeah, we do. And I don't think they're going to do the funeral part. And the reason why I don't think they will is because it's too late in the game for that. Like if they were going to do that, they should have did that in my opinion, they should have did that in Scream 5, you know, after he got killed, you know. But now I feel like it's too like late in the game to do like a funeral for him or something. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like like seeing his gravestone or something like that. That would be, you know, I think that would be pretty cool because we're obviously getting more like mention of him, which that's what I want to see. I want to see like pictures. I want to see all that, you know. And even though, yeah, a lot of people have problems with, you know, the actor and whatnot, like, which I've heard a lot of stories about, you know, the actor, David Arquette, like the real person, you know. Maybe the real person is kind of like his personality is kind of like I guess he's kind of like a jerk to people, I guess, like personality wise, I guess that's what a lot of people are saying, which I never really knew that until uh, so the actor who I think her name is Lynn McCrae, the girl that played Maureen Prescott, she did an interview with Craven, and she was basically telling a story about like how like he was just basically like disrespectful to her and all that, like, which I really never knew that he was like that, like in real life, until I heard that. Like, it's just sad to see that people have to act like that, you know. But anyways, that doesn't mean that we can't appreciate like the Dewey character, you know, like obviously because the character is iconic. So of course I'm gonna, you know, I want to see more, you know, I want to see more Easter eggs because obviously the character I feel is iconic. But doesn't mean I have to like the person, the real person, you know? Like, but we could always like acknowledge like the character though. And Scream 1, why was Tatum so rude to Gail? Especially at the party. Everyone else loves this except Hayden. Why was that? And why was she really rude with her credit as well? You know, I don't really know, honestly. And I think that she was mean to Gail because Gail kept on like spreading rumors about Sydney. I think that was the real reason. Basically spreading rumors, whatever, you know, saying just writing like basically like telling lies about, you know, and yeah, that's the reason why I think. I like it when everyone ends up being related. So cool. Oh, that's so awesome. Like, what if we find out that Sydney was related? What's this find? That'd be cool if we found out if Sam was related to Sydney, but obviously we'll never know because obviously Sam won't be in the film. AKA Melissa Barrera won't be in the film, sadly, because she got fired. But I always had a theory that that she was related to Sydney, one way or another. Like, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I always felt like she was like related to her somehow, like maybe like her daughter or something, or maybe like Sydney's like her aunt. I don't know, like something. I'm not being racist or racial in anything like that. What do you think of the idea of a black actor being Ghostface in the future? You know, I actually talked about that as well, and it's not really necessarily. I know what you mean because it may sound like racist in a way, and it kind of does. But when I say that, I'm not trying to be racist or anything. I'm just trying to be like trying to think of new ideas, you know. Um, and yeah, that would be actually something different if we had, you know, a black actor be like the killer because we haven't had a black actor be, you know, Ghostface ever. Like we've had black actors in a Scream film, but we haven't had like a black like killer, you know. Like I'm not trying to be again racist or anything like that because I know it sounds a little racist when I say that, but like we haven't had that. Like we haven't seen a black killer in a Scream film. and that's just something new, something different. Korean actor would be too short. Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, how's it going, Nanetti's Blood Road Horror Nightmare? How's it going? Thank you for popping in. I read somewhere Scream 7 is going to be set in Seattle. Yeah, there's a lot of speculation out there. A lot of people are saying that it could be in different, like, let's say like a New York area. Well, that's where Scream 6 was, but uh people are saying like Hollywood again. People are saying Woodsboro. There's a lot of speculation out there. People are even saying like Paris or even like France. Like different like countries, which all that is just speculation at this point. So I don't really know 100% what they're gonna do, but I believe that I truly believe that they're probably more likely gonna go back to Woodsboro or go back to Hollywood. I truly believe that because obviously Scream 5 was kind of similar to Scream 1996. Scream 6 was similar to Scream 2 in a way. Not real, not, it's not like they totally copied it, but it was kind of like similar. Then Scream 7 was, I think Scream 7 is going to be similar, somewhat like Scream 3 in a way, but like with different, obviously different scenes, different moments. Maybe like some scenes may look like similar, but not totally like the same. You know what I mean? So that's why I think that like if they go like to Hollywood again, I think that makes the most sense. Um, they go to if they do go back to Hollywood, I think that's makes a lot of sense. It's basically another like trilogy. So, um, and I'm not saying that they're gonna totally copy Scream 3, but there's definitely I think there's definitely going to be some scenes in there that are like similar. If that makes sense. Like I think there's going to be scenes that are totally like kind of similar, to maybe we see maybe we see Milton's mansion, maybe we see um another like stab film possibly. We see like like the Hollywood like movie like Sunrise Studios again, which I highly doubt that we're gonna see any of that. Like, well, I don't highly doubt it. I think it's very possible that we could see that, but I don't think they're gonna totally like copy like Scream 3 like totally. Like they're not gonna basically like copy and paste or anything like that. Like they're obviously gonna tell like their own story and do their own thing and not copy, which that's what I want them to do. Because Scream 3 is its own like film, you know what I mean? So and no other film's gonna be like that. A lot of rain in Seattle, yeah. It definitely does rain a lot there. it can't rain all the time. Yeah, maybe not all the time, but most of the time. Just say for Scream 7, there's a lot of killings, and I found a lot of bodies being gutted, and they try to figure out who it is. And Sydney figures out who the killer is, and she does it once and believe it. Well, that I like that as well. Yeah, I definitely like that idea for sure. I know Kevin Williamson is back, but what about this new guy who's involved named Nick Gers? I think his name is. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Uh, that's another. That's a like a question mark to me. Because I don't really know like how good he is at making films. You know, and that's probably like the only thing that I don't know. Like how experienced he is. Um, but the only thing that I do know is that Kevin Williamson is gonna write like the best story possible. I think. I mean, he did that in Scream 4 and also Scream 2 in 1996, and that's why Scream 1996 is so like. That's why Scream 2 I feel like is the best like sequel, is because he was always good at writing. Writing like coming up with like writing stories and all that. Um, but yeah, like this new guy, I have no idea how good he is. I don't know how good he is, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Um, but I do have a lot of faith in Kevin Williamson because obviously he's good at writing stories. I heard Sydney's nanny in part seven is named Miss. Oh, didn't know that. Just watching all the Jurassic Park movies. Oh, I don't work. I don't work. I'll be there. Oh, okay, great. That sounds good. Yeah, it'll be at 12:30. So, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people do work. Like Tatum, obviously, great friend of the channel, of course, you guys know. Um, she obviously says she works, so I know some people do, but some people don't. New actress confirmed for Screen 7 test. It goes thoughts on her. I have no idea who that is, and I wonder what character she's gonna play. Um, yeah, I wonder what character that she's gonna play because 1 minute here. Scream 7. Yeah, I never heard of that actress before, but huh, must be a new actress. So yep, obviously Courtney Cox is coming back. Nev Campbell is returning, of course. Hayden Panettiere is also returning, it looks like. And yeah, and Jenna Ortega will not be in the film because obviously she's doing other like movies. And obviously Melissa Barrera got fired, so that's unfortunate. But um, so if you guys do not know, yeah, I don't know that actress actually. That's very interesting. Um, yeah, I have no idea what that actor is. That's interesting. I don't see anything about that. Um, but yeah, what I was gonna say, guys, I don't know if you guys heard, but it looks like Scream 7 is gonna be called Scream 7 Kills. That's what it looks like. I'm not lying either. Like, if you guys look it up and Google it, it says that this film, the name of it will be Kills. Well, that's supposedly like a rumor on here. Let's see. Let's see here. So basically, if you ask, Google, so I just saw it. And of course, it says Scream Kills. It says Scream 7 Kills. And it says that Billy Loomis will not return to Scream 7 Kills. I'm like, that sounds like a new title. Then it must be the new title for the movie. I hope not, because that's similar to Halloween Kills. Who was better looking, Billy or Stu? Which one would you rather? I'm not gay. I'm not gay, so which child actors would be good to play Sydney's daughter in Scream 7? Uh, that's a really good question. I have no idea, actually. You're going backwards, guy. I'm going backwards. What do you mean by that? Maybe Sam was Sydney's daughter and Sydney does not know it. That's what I'm saying. That maybe Sam was the daughter of Sydney. Like, that's what I was like basically saying. That could be a thing. It's going okay. Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, of course, absolutely. I love showing everyone, support. even though I'm not like a fan of fairy tale books or anything like that, like I still, like showing everyone support. So I would absolutely love to see a Scream movie been done here in my home. Oh yeah, you were saying that. Yeah, in Australia. Yeah. Do you think Sydney's dad will be in this new Scream movie? Uh, well, I actually heard rumors that so supposedly this is supposedly what I heard. Um, so Sydney's dad, Neil Prescott, supposedly died in between Scream 3 and 4. So, and obviously they don't really say how he died, but he supposedly died in between 3 and 4. Now, that could all just be lies. What if he is somehow going to be in this film, or what if he is like one of like the killers or something like that? That's what, because we don't really know 100% like what happened to him or anything. Like we don't know like if he actually did die in between, you know, 3 and 4 like they're saying. And obviously we don't know how he did. They didn't really say how he died. Like, so I mean, I have no idea. Like, what if it turned? What? I have a theory. Let's just say that Neil Prescott supposedly died, but then all of a sudden he appears in this film as like a killer or something like that. That would be pretty interesting as well. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's definitely pretty interesting because you don't really know like what happened. You don't know how he died or anything. You don't know anything. So, and what if he wasn't? What if he isn't, Sydney's real dad? What if he's just like her stepdad? And that's another thing. Like, what if they did something to where, like, if he does come back, let's just say that he wasn't that. Like, let's just say that Sydney thought he was her real dad, right? Well, then he comes back and he's not. He turns out not to be her real dad, and all of a sudden he's just a ghost face killer. Well, I think that could definitely work, but I don't think they're going to do that personally. But it's definitely something like it's another it's an idea, something that you could do, something that you could think about. Um, because basically she was getting like lied to or something about her father or something, but it turns out that he wasn't. That would be interesting. That'd be awesome. Guys, hear me out. Scream in space. No, I can't do scream in space, dude. Like, to me, that's just too corny. Like, that's more of a Jason thing. I feel like, or even like a Michael Myers. I don't think it would work for Scream. Who had a better body, Tatum or Kirby? Man, you really gotta do that to me, man. Okay, I'm definitely probably gonna say Kirby. All right, just had an overall just better body. I think. I mean, Tatum looks all right, but I have to go with Kirby on that one. Scream is the only franchise that makes realistic stories. So how can that do Scream in space? Oh, she's asking him. Yeah, Scream in space just sounds a little too corny for me. Yeah, me too. I say Kirby as well, but just because I feel like she just overall just like looks better, you know. And you guys are always like asking me like weird questions. Like this guy's like, all right, man, I gotta go. I'm a scientist. I gotta work early in the morning on a rocket ship. See you later, buddy. All right, see you, man. Have a good night. You know the actress Fran Dresser who did the nanny years ago? She's in talks of playing Nanny in Scream 7. What do you think about her playing Sydney? Ma, I mean, yeah, it would be pretty cool, I guess. If if they do need like that's something new, you know? Because yeah, I've never seen like Sydney's mom. Hold up. So are you saying like Sydney's kid is like grandma, right? Are you saying like from his from Mark's side or Sydney's side? Because if it's Sydney's side, that's not possible because Marine Prescott's dead, sadly. But if you're talking about Mark Kincaid's side, well, that's a little different. Great stream, everyone. Take care. All right, man. Have a good one. Thank you for popping in. Be sure to hit the like button as well on your way out. Appreciate, seeing like new faces in here. That's amazing. Got to keep this going. I know it's a very long shot, but what are the chances he was killed by mysterious ghost base? Sydney's father. What are the chances it was Stu, but he didn't kill him in there? Uh, you know what? That's a really good point. Maybe it was Stu that killed him, like behind, but maybe we just didn't see it. That's a really cool. That's a really interesting theory, actually. Like I've never thought of that theory before. Um, and that's very possible as well. Let's just say that he got killed, like secretly by someone, but it was like Stu. But obviously, we didn't see him get killed because we remember when in Scream 1996 when Stu was going to kill him. He obviously didn't kill him, but he almost did. So There's definitely a possibility there. That's an interesting theory. Never thought of that. Hi y'all, it's 1:47 p.m. Monday here in Australia on my lunch break. Oh, how's it going, Wayne Turner? I'm glad that you can make it. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you guys are at different times. So it's like 1 o'clock there. It's actually midnight here almost. Yeah, it's 11:55 here right now. Um, but yeah, thank you for popping in. Appreciate you. I still want Kirby revealed as a secret Ghostface killer. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were saying that, but for me, I feel like if they were gonna do that, they should have did that, and I just feel like it's just too late in the game now. Now, I did think that she was gonna be a killer in Scream Six because the way she was acting, like in that scene, in that one scene, and I thought for sure, like 100%, that she was like the one of the killers. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna do it. I already knew at that moment, like I had a feeling that she was the killer, and that just the way that she was acting, whatever. She basically like locked him in that room. So that's the reason why I thought that she was like one of the killers. But then obviously she wasn't. So I was kind of like made me feel better that she wasn't. Um, but hey, I mean, a lot of people have their own preferences. People like what they like, you know. And hey, I guess I wouldn't really mind it, but at the same time, I'd much rather her be like, I'd much rather her be a hero, like work with Sydney, help her like kill. Now, I'm not saying that Sydney's gonna. I'm not saying that Kirby's gonna live in this film. I think it's very possible that she could die, definitely in this film. Um, but yeah, I definitely don't think she's gonna be a killer. Even though, yeah, that would be pretty interesting if she was like a secret killer, like if she was like working with like Stu or something, like secretly. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Personally, I think she's gonna end up dying in this film. Like I really do, and I hate saying that, but I think that she's gonna end up dying. And if she does die and she ends up being a killer, let's say she had like a fake death or something, which that's known to happen. Obviously, we've seen Roman do it. You know, we've seen Quinn do it. I believe she basically like faked her death in Scream Six, and then later on she was revealed as one of the killers. So I mean, it's a known thing. So I mean, I'm not saying that's not that can't happen because I mean that's happened, and obviously, like I said, Roman did that before. Uh, and then obviously Quinn did that in Scream Six. So definitely could be something to where like she dies but ends up like being like a fake death or something. Because I mean we see that a lot. I mean we haven't seen that. The last time obviously Scream 3 was when I first watched Scream 3, right? I really did not think that Roman was going to be the killer. Like I thought it was going to be someone else. Because like when he basically was dead, he was like in the casket or whatever. I was kind of thinking like, yeah, definitely not him, right? But then at the end of the film, turns out that he faked his death. Didn't like wasn't expecting him to be the killer, but all of a sudden he was the killer. He ended up like faking his death or whatever. Um, yeah, I didn't really think that he was going to be like the killer. Um, but there could definitely be a scenario where somebody dies, but then they end up like being the killer at the end because we've seen that. That's a known thing in a screen film. Like killers, the killers usually like I guess like fake their deaths, you know. So you said Tatum better body, Kirby better face. Yeah, I actually like Kirby just more just in general. She just I feel like she's got a better like body, like personally. But that's just my opinion on that. But don't get me wrong, and Tatum does got a good body too. But yeah, I wouldn't like it if Kirby was the ghost face. I'd like her. I like her too much, as a good person. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like she's more of a hero, like more of a too much of a good person to be an evil like killer, you know. Um, that's just my that's just my opinion. Like people wanted, Sam to be the killer, which I didn't really want that either because again, I just feel like she's just too much of a good person, Like so but who really knows? I mean, there could definitely be a scenario where they try to make her, the killer somehow. Which I guess if they do that, the only issue, okay, and I don't know if you've ever heard this theory before, and I talked about this many times on the channel. Um, and it's a theory about obviously Sydney, about her possibly being. So there's a theory that Sydney somehow is secretly like the Ghostface killer, right? I don't know if you guys heard that. I'm pretty sure you guys heard that theory before, but there's this theory that she's supposedly like the Ghostface killer. It's like secretly. Um, and I don't like it. That would be the biggest mistake. Uh, the biggest like mistake that they would like. The biggest mistake if they decided to make Sydney the killer. And the reason why is because Sydney is a final girl, and she's been a final girl since Scream 1996, of course. And you mean to tell me that all these years she's just all of a sudden just out of nowhere just going to become a killer, like, you know. And I understand it's a theory that people have, but it's a stupid theory. You know, that would be like the biggest mistake. I don't think that they would do that personally, just because they would be at that point. If they did do that, I'm gonna say that they had brain damage, because you know, somebody on there, the directors, whoever, doesn't have a good brain. You know, that's all I gotta say. If that happens, if they make her the killer, like, which I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking on like basically worst case like scenarios, something that they could do. Which I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but something to think about. Um, and it's something that's, like I was saying, it's the dumbest theory that I've ever heard. Like, because again, she's a final girl. You know, making her Ghostface, making her the killer, is like making Laurie Strode Michael Myers somehow. You know, like it makes no sense. And I know it's just a theory, you know, that people have. There's a lot of people out there that say that she's going to be the killer and all that, and they like that idea, but I don't, because that just ruins her reputation. You know, it ruins the Sydney character. You know, it just ruins like everything about the character. Because obviously she was never, you know, an evil person. You know what I mean? She's always been a final girl. So that's the reason why I think it's stupid. The dumbest theory. It's the dumbest theory that I've ever heard. That's all I gotta say. The dumbest theory. So dumb. Good day, Wayne Turner, my fellow. Oh, he's saying hello, Wayne Turner. No, I mean Fran Dresden, the actor, had played Fran. Yeah, but if it's Sydney, again, unless it's gonna be like Mark's mom or something, like Mark Kincaid's like mom or something, then I could see a scenario where we do see like their grandma or something. But if we're talking about Sydney's side, that's not possible, because obviously Maureen Prescott is dead. So, but she would be like the other like grandma, like, but obviously she's dead. So you must be talking about like Mark's side then. Good Scott, not working way too much. How about you? Jack is being very needy right now. Who's Jack? Sadly, got to go. My work break ending. My work break is ending. Thanks for having me. Oh, it's okay, man. Thank you for popping in. Have a good rest of your day at work. Appreciate it. And be sure to try to. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, Australia, you guys will be like sleeping at noon. So, but I will be doing like a noon stream, so it would obviously be like 11 at night there. Which, but anyways, man, thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. I'm with you. I would be very upset if they made Sydney a ghost fish. Yeah, because I mean, just think about it. She's a final girl, and she's never been a bad person. She's always been a good person, you know. And again, it's just like making Laurie Strode like Michael Myers. That's the way I view it. It's like making Laurie Strode Michael Myers. It's like, um, it just doesn't make sense. Like, and it'll basically be out of nowhere. Oh, your dog. Your dog's name is Jack. Oh, okay. Yeah, like I was saying, it's just it goes back to her being a final girl. You know, it's like you're not going to sit there and make a final girl a killer. And if they do that, which is very unlikely, they're not going to do that. I already know. But I'm just saying, if they did ever do that, we're rioting. Like I really don't care what people say. Like I'm rioting, you know, because that's not that's just not right in my opinion. Like you don't ever make a final girl a killer. Like as a diehard Scream fan, I want to see. You don't want to see nothing like that. You don't want to see a final girl be a killer. You know, which is nothing. Not saying it's gonna happen because it's more likely not gonna happen, but I'm basically saying like that would be like a worst case scenario for the film. Like if they decided to do that, which I'm not saying is that'd be like the worst thing that they could do. How would you like Scream 7 to go? Uh Again, I would like to see Mark and Cade back, you know, because he is in a relationship with Sydney, so that would make a lot of sense to see him back, even if it's just like a cameo or if he's in the whole film. I mean, either or, I don't mind. I don't mind either or, but um, I do want to see Mark Kincaid back, and I want to see him obviously with Sydney. Uh, I want to see him in the film, and I want to see Patrick Dempsey back. Of course, like playing him. I want to see. I don't want to see it like another act, like a lookalike or anything like that. Um, I don't want to see I don't want to see another actor play him because I feel like Mark Kincaid obviously is you gotta get or Patrick Dempsey, excuse me. You gotta get Patrick Dempsey, back. You can't have another actor play him, So that's I guess my other fear is that they may try to like get another actor to play, Mark Kincaid, which I don't want to see that because I think you got to get Patrick Dempsey. You have to. You can't have a lookalike. Can't have a stunt double. Somebody that looks like him. Like that's not gonna cut it for me. Like you're gonna have to get the real actor. Like there's just no other way that if I was, which I'm pretty sure that they're gonna try to get the real actor, but I'm just saying that they don't. They decide to go with the lookalike. Well, that's a huge like red flag for me. Because again, it's just Patrick Dempsey is Mark Kincaid, There's just no way that you get a lookalike. So, and then another thing I want to see is obviously Joel the cameraman, which the actor actually had said that he wanted to come back for another film, which is he said that he wants to return to for another Scream film. So he's another character that I want to see back. He's a character that I want to, even if he's like the father of Chad and Mindy, that would be, which I do think that he is. I had, made like a theory that he could be like the father of Mindy and Chad. Which doesn't really necessarily mean that he is, but it's just a theory that I had, like, that he could be the father of Chad and Mindy. So he's definitely a character that I want to see back. And then obviously you got Parker Posey, of course, as well. But she had said that she wants to come back. So doesn't necessarily mean that she will, but definitely character that I want to see back. So, but yeah, Scream 7, I feel like is going to be a great film. Like, I definitely think it's going to be one of the best, like, finales, But the only thing that I'm hoping for is that we get Stu. That's the only thing. If we don't get Stu, then I'm going to be, disappointed about it because if we don't get Stu in this film, I don't think we're going to get him at all. Sadly. That's just my opinion. A lot of people will say that, we won't get it, that we will still get him in the future, but I don't really think so because obviously if this film is going to be Neve Campbell's last, like her very like last film, which I do think it is going to be obviously her last film, I don't think that they're going to bring Stu back in the future because obviously you need Sydney for that. Like, especially if they don't bring her back in this film or bring him back in Scream 7. Like, I don't think they're going to bring him back in the future if Neve Campbell is not doing the films no more, you know, because it just wouldn't make sense. Like you had to have that moment between him and Sydney that to me makes the most sense, you know. And people are saying that Sam and he could go after Sam and whatnot, but Sam's not even in the film no more. But people were saying that originally before, obviously she got fired. Uh, Before Melissa Barrera got fired, anyways. But that wouldn't have made sense anyways. Even if Sam was in the film, that wouldn't have made any sense for Stu to go after her because, again, what connections does he have? I mean, yeah, she is Billy's daughter, but at the same time, there's really no connection. You know, I just think it makes more sense, for him to go after Sydney because obviously she went to school with them. Number one, number two, she's the one that basically threw the TV on him, so it's more like personal, you know. So I think that makes the most sense. Definitely want to see Patrick Dempsey back. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that would be interesting. And also, like I said, Jennifer Jolie as well, or Jennifer, aka Parker Posey as well from Scream 3, which that's another character that I didn't really expect to, or another actor that I guess wants to come back, I guess, which doesn't necessarily mean that she is going to come back, but same with like Joel, same with, doesn't necessarily mean he's coming back either, but it's good to know that they want to come back, which I hope they do. Yeah, Jennifer in Scream 3 did not, she only got like shot once. So realistically, if you think about it, she could have survived. Especially if you got shot like once, like one time, you're not going to die from one shot. So it's definitely possible that she could have survived. But yeah, and I also want to see, more Randy tapes as well. And that's another thing that I've been, I guess, begging for, just more Randy tapes. And a lot of people are saying that they don't really want the Randy, they want to just back away from that, like the Randy tapes and whatnot. But I actually like it. I think they need to bring more into the film because they need more mention of the character, And you guys already know I've always loved the character like I felt like the character died too soon. I felt like he had more in him to where like he should have been in Scream 3 and even 4, But sadly he didn't get to be in I mean there was plans that he was going to survive, supposedly. Of course, you guys already know. Um, that he was going to survive and that he was going to be in Scream 3. He was going to survive like Scream 2, and then he was going to be in Scream 3. That's what I had heard. And of course, that was that was the original like plan, but they didn't. They decided not to do that because I guess they had a rule that if you're dead, you're dead. You have to stay dead. So they decided to not go with that. They decided just to keep him dead. Sadly, you know. But yeah, I want to see more. I want to see more. Tapes, Randy tapes. Randy videos. Um, that's more of what I want to see. I guess another thing, and obviously Dewey's grave. I would like to have 4 ghost faces and two of our Mr. Killers, and one is Stu, and the other one is Angelina. Oh, I would love that as well. I really want Angelina to come back so bad. Like, okay, people say that she wasn't an interesting character, but that's because she wasn't revealed as a killer, you know? And originally she was supposed to be a killer, like a secret killer. Um she was supposed to be like the second killer, like with Roman. So basically she was going to work with him. And that was like the original plan. But they decided not to, I guess, do that because they didn't. I don't know if they didn't like the idea or they just decided just to do something different. But I still think that she still was the killer in that film, like secretly. Like even though they didn't go with that plan, it still felt like they had like some kind of like Easter eggs in that, that she was still like the second killer, even though she wasn't revealed, at the end. Definitely, um, definitely a lot of Easter eggs, still. So I definitely think that she was definitely a second killer. There's just no doubt. I think she was working with Roman the whole time, and I don't think she died because I think that it's very possible that she could be alive still. And the reason why I say that is because her name is not on the official kill list, and you got to kind of ask yourself like why is that? Is that done for a reason? Is it done, so that those are things that, and I have another theory too that maybe Roman helped her fake her death so that she could, or so that he could deal with Sydney by himself. That's just my theory. Because obviously Sydney's obviously, obviously brother and sister, right? It's more personal. So I think that he wanted to, I guess he wanted to like deal with, I guess he wanted to like, um, he wanted it to be like a one-on-one kind of thing, Like he didn't want like a partner. That's just my theory. I think that he helped her like fake her death because he didn't need her. He didn't need her no more. So yeah, and that's why her name. That's why her name. That's why I think her name isn't on the list for why her name is not on the official kill list of Scream 3 because she's not dead. I don't think she's dead. Like because if she was, her name would have been on there, in my opinion. So I definitely think that she is still. I definitely think that she is still alive somewhere. Like she's definitely still. I think she is alive. I think it's definitely a possibility. Um, and I definitely want her back. I definitely want her back because she's another character that just makes the most sense behind Stu. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying that they are going to bring her back, but I definitely do want her back. I want her back, you know? And a lot of people don't see her character as being like interesting just because she was more of like a quiet person and didn't really say much. Kind of like a weird, like quiet person, I guess. Um, but to me, she's still one of my favorite characters. That's just my opinion. And maybe that's just because I like Scream 3 a lot. Because Scream 3, as you know, I think it's an underrated film. Like I think it gets too much hate by a lot of people, and I don't think it deserves the hate that it gets, you know. I just think that a lot of people hate it because there wasn't a second killer, that got revealed, and a lot of people just don't like, I guess, the whole thing about like Maureen Prescott and all that. A lot of people just don't like that, but I like it because I think it makes a lot of sense, you know. And I'm not just saying that this is because I like it a lot, but it does. It makes so much sense if you think about it. Because if a brother is out to kill you and he knows that he has a sister, but he's like putting pictures out of like Maureen Prescott and all that, well, doesn't that make sense? It does. I think it does. And a lot of people don't really a lot of people don't like it how it's about like Sydney's mother and all that, but and that's the only thing that nobody likes. I think that's the main reason why it gets so much hate is because of that. But and also just like us like like they feel like Roman should have interacted with Sydney in the middle of the film. But I don't think it would have made sense because you're basically giving away like the mystery of Roman, like the character. So I don't think that makes sense to like have them interact with each other in the middle of the film. I think they were better off. It made more sense to wait until the end. That's just my opinion on that. I like the fact that they fight at the end. Like that fight scene to me is probably the most intense because it's obviously a brother and sister, you know, and it's the most intense, hands down, the most intense throughout the whole franchise. It's because it had to do with the brother and sister, and it made it that much intense. Like, so that's the reason why I like it. I think that scene was definitely the best in the whole franchise. Just the intensity, just there's no there's no movie that's ever going to beat that film, in my opinion. Or Angelina Stu have a cult. Oh yeah, maybe they're in a cult together. Maybe Angelina's a part of that cult, or maybe Angelina and Stu are like the leaders or something. I would actually like that. I love Scream 3. It's my favorite sequel in the franchise. Oh yeah, it's my favorite too. And Roman's my favorite killer. And I don't know if I ever told you that, but Roman's my favorite, like my favorite killer in the whole entire franchise. Like I mean, he's like my favorite, like my number one. Like, and a lot of people will call me crazy because obviously Stu and you have Stu, you got obviously, so you got Stu and you got Billy Loomis. You know, of course they're going to be like, oh, they're always going to be the best. But I feel like Roman was the more like the smartest one, like the smartest killer in the whole franchise. Like he was the only one that did he basically killed people on his own. Like he didn't have like a partner or anything like that. Like he was the only one that basically, I guess, killed on his own. Like in the whole franchise. Um and also too, he also, you know, wore like a bulletproof vest. Like he was the only one that ever wore a bulletproof vest and was smart, you know, smarter than the other killers. You know, something that the other killers didn't do. Um, so I don't know. I think that he's definitely the smartest killer and the most underrated killer in the franchise. He was definitely the smartest, definitely. Because again, he didn't need a partner. Okay, like secretly, yeah, he did. But really though, he did the killings all by himself. You know? And that's the only film with only one killer that yeah, because all the other films, Scream 1996, Scream 2, of course, they've all had two killers. But Scream 3 only had one. Even though, yeah, there was a secret killer, obviously Angelino, that wasn't revealed. But there was only one. He was the only one that did the job on his own. Like even if Angelina was a killer, he still did all the killings, like on his own. And then obviously Scream 4, there's 2 killers, and then Scream 5, of course, 2 killers. Scream 6 had 3. So yeah, he was the only one that did the job on his own. Like he, so that's why I think he's the best. Why I think he's the best killer and just the most intelligent killer. Like he was smart enough to know when he needed help and to know when he could do it himself and to prepare himself and everyone. Yep, exactly. I mean, he was so smart that he was the first one to fake his death. He faked his own death because he was a director. So of course he knew how to basically, do like and put like fake blood on himself. He knew how to do all that because obviously he was a director. He knew how to put a knife in him in himself to make it look like he got stabbed because he was just that smart. You know what I mean? But this dude faked his own death. I mean, he faked his own death. He was the first one basically to fake his own death, like out of any other Scream film. Like all the other killers did not do anything like that. Didn't think of doing that. Like, but he did that. Like he faked his own death and decided he. I legitimately thought that it was going to be another killer. I didn't think he was going to be the killer. I thought it was going to be someone else. And that's the thing that Scream 3, like why I like it so much is because it kind of like confuses you a lot. You know, where you thought that it was going to be someone else, but it turns out to be the guy that turns out to be Roman still. It's crazy. Like I didn't think that he was going to be the killer. Like I didn't when I first watched the film. I thought it was going to be somebody like Patrick Dempsey or something, or like his partner. Uh, I forget his partner's name. Um, the other police officer, but I really thought it was going to be one of them because when Roman like ended up like faking his death, I didn't really think. I thought, okay, well he's dead, right? But then it turns out at the end he's actually the killer, which I'm just like, what? Like, I was just in shock when I. So like when I first watched the film, of course. So that's why I like it because it's like a basically like it's like a plot twist. You know what I mean? Basically gets you thinking that it's one person, but then you think that's another, but then it turns out to be that person that you least expect. Like, especially you know, after you thought that he died or whatever. They said that was the original thought. What the hell, Patrick Dempsey character to be the bad guy? Oh, yeah, I think I heard that as well. I thought I heard that they were going to make Patrick Dempsey, the killer originally, like, and also Stu, but that was obviously canceled because of the Combine shooting. So that didn't happen. Oh yeah, I bet one of the killers or all of them will fake their own deaths in Scream 7. Yes, I think so as well because obviously, if you don't remember, so obviously Roman faked his death, Quinn faked her death in Scream 6. So those are the two characters that faked their deaths. Obviously, Roman being the first. But Quinn was like the second one that basically did that faked her death in Scream 6. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody else did that in Scream 7. I just wouldn't be surprised by that, you know? Because there's a lot of people, a lot of, again, you just don't know what other, what people are thinking, Sometimes, I mean, we've seen Quinn do it, we've seen Roman do it. So, yeah, I just wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. Let's say like Kirby or something like, which I don't really want her to be the killer, but if she does end up getting killed and all of a sudden it's all fake, well, I could definitely, see that happening to where it's like a fake death or something. But yeah, Scream, the Scream franchise as a whole, this is why we like Scream. We are this is why I'm so much of a diehard fan of Scream more than any other franchise. Like, okay, I like Halloween. That's always gonna be my favorite. I like Friday the 13th. I like, you know, the Nightmare films in a way. But I actually like the Child's Play films a little bit more. Um, but the reason why Scream is my favorite again is just because it's just the who done it factor in it, like the who done it factor, like who basically pointing fingers at other people the whole time, different killers, in every movie. I don't know. I just like that. It's a lot of fun. That's the reason why the Scream franchise is always going to be my number one favorite. Like, just because of that, like, because it's just more humanly, Because people think that horror movies have to be like where you have to. People think that you have to be like supernatural to be considered like to be like a horror villain. But I disagree with that. I don't think horror has to be just supernatural. You don't have to have a supernatural like character in every film. That's, you know, do you like the TV show? Actually, I've never got the chance to watch a TV series, but I did hear that it was pretty good, and I do definitely need to watch it. Um, and I also heard that what's the voice actor's name? The original voice actor of Chucky. Um, I remember his name. I gotta look it up real fast. I don't really remember. Um, oh, Brad Dourif. Brad Dourif. I heard that he was back, basically doing the voice for Chucky. So sounds pretty good. I definitely should check it out. Um, his name is Brad Dourif. Yep. And Brad Dourif was actually in Rob Zombie's Halloween as well. He played Sheriff Burke. But yeah, I mean that this is why Scream is my favorite. People always like make fun of me in a way. Well, not really necessarily make fun of me, but they kind of say that, oh well, Ghostface is just a joke. Ghostface is just silly. Oh, he's just a silly character. I always have a lot of people tell me that, like, but honestly, Scream is because they think that horror has to be just supernatural all the time, like, which that's not. Horror doesn't have to be just supernatural, and it doesn't. You don't have to be like Michael Myers, like Jason, every film, or you don't have to be like every film. Every horror film doesn't have to be like how Michael Myers and Jason are. You know what I mean? How they're basically undead, like they can't die. Like Jason's an undead like zombie or whatever, and then obviously Michael Myers basically just got cursed. But you don't have to be like that. And even like Chucky, Freddy Krueger, they can't die. They can't die either. They keep on coming back. But again, horror does not have to be like that. Not all of horror. Horror could be anything you want it to be. Rather if it's being like a real human, like I said, Scream. That's what Scream does so well. It's like more humanly. And they could die easily. Every killer dies. They're so like. I still consider Ghostface as an icon, even though it's different killers in every movie. That's what makes it so interesting, though. It's basically like a mystery slash horror film where you basically got to figure out like who the killer is, which is something that's very interesting that I like, you know. And a lot of people always say, "Oh well, Ghostface is just a silly character. Oh, he's just this and that. Oh, he would die easily by Michael Myers. Of course he would. Of course, Michael Myers would kill him easily, but again, just because I'm a fan of Scream like that doesn't necessarily mean that um or what is that going to say? So what I mean is that people want the Ghostface character to be like supernatural, like only like one person. That's what people like. A lot of the Scream like haters out there, people that don't like the films, um, that's what they always say. Like they always say, well, you know, I wish Ghostface is only one person. This and that. I wish he was supernatural. But no, I mean, I wouldn't have cared either way, but I like the humanly aspect. I like the humanly aspect to it, like the who done it. You know, I like all that because you know that makes it much funner. It makes it so much funner because you don't know who the killer is. You don't know. You're basically like pointing fingers at people, and that's what makes it so different from other films like Halloween and Friday the 13th because you already kind of know like who the killer is in those films because obviously it's only one person. So like Scream, it's like you don't know who it is, you know? It's like every movie it's a different killer. So that there's a lot of people that always say, well, you know, Ghostface should only be one person. I disagree with that because not all horror has to be just a supernatural killer. Like but that's what people think. You know, that's what people believe, what they truly believe, you know, like the people that don't like Scream necessarily, they'll go on to say that that he's just a silly character. Oh, that he reminds us of they remind he reminds them of like Scary Movie and whatnot. Well, they say like the mask or whatever reminds them of Scary Movie or whatever. But hey, I wouldn't have cared either way. I wouldn't have cared if he was supernatural. I wouldn't have cared if he was just one person. You know, I wouldn't have cared. I still would have been a fan of it, you know, regardless. You know, but I'm just saying, like the humanly aspect to it, the fact that he could die easily is more realistic if you think about it, because realistically, you're not gonna survive getting shot in the head. You know, you're not gonna keep on coming back, like you know, which a lot of people again, that's what people always believe that horror movies have to be supernatural. You know that they always have to be supernatural. Like character, they have to be supernatural. I guess supposedly, like that's what a lot of the older or a lot of the people that don't like Scream that call Scream like silly, corny, or whatever. Like we'll sit there and say that like they'll sit there and say that, oh, the Scream films should be supernatural. Oh, well, the Ghostface character should be supernatural. He should be like Michael Myers. He should be like one person, like only one person. But I'm just like, no. Like, all horror does not have to be like that, bro. Like, horror could be anything. You know, it doesn't have to be one thing. It could be whatever it wants to be. That's just my opinion on that. Like, it's like some people want to argue about Hannibal Lecter, but I think he's a horror icon. Right. He's a horror icon, right. And even though he's more humanly, and yeah, although maybe yeah he can die easily, you know, he's still a horror icon, you know. And that's what's the thing that people, they always like argue. Like, I had people call me like silly. I had people call me whack just because I like Scream, you know. And I'm being legit. Like, I've had people, you know, say that I'm whack because they think that Scream Ghostface is a corny character. Like, but honestly, it's not. Again, all horror does not have to be supernatural. Horror could be whatever it wants. You know what I mean? Like, that's what people don't get. Because people, you know, again, people think that you have to be like an undead, that you have to be like a character that doesn't die. Like, so that's just my opinion on that. And you know, same like you were saying, like Hannibal Lecter. You know, even though he's humanly more human, he's still a horror icon. And people always argue with me about Ghostface and say, well, he's not an icon. Actually, the mask is what made Scream so good, and this and that. Like, no, the reason why Scream was so good is because it basically brought like horror back. You know, at that time when Scream 1996 came out, obviously Halloween. So Halloween, Friday the 13th, all those movies were basically like dead, right? And after Scream 1996 came out, Halloween came back shortly after. Shortly after Scream 1996 was released, Halloween came out like right after, you know, because like I was saying, slashers were like dead during that time. Like, slashers were absolutely dead, and basically like Scream basically like revived all that, you know, like, because obviously it was dead at the time, and that brought back movies like I said, Halloween, Friday the 13th ended up coming back after Scream, after what Scream, you know, was made. Um, So yeah, I mean Halloween. Obviously, I think H2O came out after. I believe it was H2O that came out. That came out like right after Scream. Scream 1996 or Scream 2. I think it was after Scream 2 because that was H2O came out in 1998. So yeah, it was after Scream 2. Halloween, Halloween H2O came out, and then after that, you had obviously Friday the 13th. Jason X came out shortly after, like Scream 3. I think a couple years after. Actually, no, I think Jason X and Scream 3 came out the same year. Or I think Jason X came out a year after, in 2001. And obviously Scream 3 came out in 2000. So I mean, yeah, that's the reason why. Because if Scream never had came out, those movies would have never came back. I don't think. I don't think. Like, I think slashers would have been dead. Like, they would have been like dead. I think people didn't like the horror movies that aren't supernatural is because they're so realistic and they want to escape reality. Yep, that's the only reason. And they hate on it because they feel like, again, they think that every horror movie has to be supernatural. You know, and I think that's the only problem with a lot of people that hate on Scream. That say again that he's like a silly character or whatever. Like, that Ghostface is just a silly character. It's because they think that they think that all horror movies, all slashers had to be supernatural. Like, and then they sit there and say that, oh well, the Ghostface mask reminds him of the Ghostface mask looks like the Scary Movie mask too much. And I'm just like, well, maybe that's because you watched Scary Movie before you watched Scream. You know, it's probably because they watched Scary Movie first before they watched Scream. So that's the reason why they really believe that. Why they believe it looks too much like the Scary Movie mask. And so, like, people like that, and everybody has. I guess everyone's entitled to their own opinion, at the end of the day. But I don't believe any of that. I don't believe for a second that I do not believe that every horror movie has to be supernatural. I don't. Like, every horror could be whatever it wants to be. And yeah, I'm not saying again it would have been nice. It would have been nice to, I guess, like if Ghostface was supernatural, but at the same time, I like it better as it is. I like it. I like it when it's more humanly. I like it that it's a whodunit film because it's just more realistic. You know. But that's personally just me. And a lot of people out there be like, "Oh well, Michael Myers is just better. Oh well, Jason's better." I don't hate those films. I like those films or whatever, but just because they're supernatural doesn't mean that they're 100% better. Like, like, so that's just like, I like the Halloween films. Again, don't get me wrong. I love the Friday the 13th films, but I do like Halloween a little bit more than, Friday the 13th. But the Scream franchise is just it's just the realism, the who done it. The basically like the mystery about behind, about like it's basically like a mystery. You don't know like who the killer is in every film, which makes it more realistic. It's more real, it's more realistic in my eyes. I mean, is Hannibal Lecter and Candyman, can they die? I don't think they can. Or I think they can. I think Candyman is pretty, I think he's humanly as well. Um, and that's another thing too. People will argue about Candyman, say that he's not an icon just because he's humanly. Um, then people will sit there and say that Hannibal Lecter, just because he's humanly and could die easily, like he's more human, like you were saying that they argue about him being an icon, but again, it does not matter if they're humanly or not. Like, they're always going to be an icon, you know. But that's just my opinion on that. A lot of people just have their own like views, I guess, about like what horror should be. Like, well, I like most of the movies. If it wasn't for the Carpenter sisters, I wouldn't have liked Scream 5. Yeah, I think it's an overall great franchise. I think 1 through like 4. Uh, and a lot of people hate Scream 2 for some reason. I don't know why, but I think Scream 2 is definitely one of the best. Definitely one of the best sequels out there. You know, and although I don't like Scream 2 as much as I watch, um, as much as Scream 3, I still like it a lot. You know, I still think it's definitely one of the best sequels out there. And a lot of people just, it's kind of crazy that people don't like that film, you know? But I definitely think it's one of the best sequels. Yeah, Candyman is definitely an horror icon. And he's not human, he's a ghost. Oh, okay. So yeah, he's a ghost. But is Hannibal Lecter a human or a ghost? Because I never really read into Hannibal Lecter like that. I've never really looked into him. And another icon too, Leatherface. I think Leatherface is another humanly character, if I'm not mistaken. I don't like the mother thing about Scream 2. Oh, that's understandable. Like I completely understand that. Like, cause yeah, the mother thing, Miss Loomis was definitely not the best killer. She was definitely probably one of the worst. If he had to, she was just born. Like, definitely one of the worst at my eyes. But I did like Mickey as a killer, which he was definitely pretty good. But other than all that, it's definitely a great. I think it's one of the best sequels. Hannibal Lecter is human. Okay, yeah, but he's still an icon, even though he's still human. I'm definitely gonna have to watch one of the movies because I've never watched Hannibal Lecter before. Okay, there's four Hannibal Lecter films. Oh, yeah, they need to make another one. Uh, but I like that the fact that he's more human. That's I know he was human in the first movie, but I don't know about the rest of them. I'm talking about Leatherface. Okay, yeah, I think you're right. I think he was human in the first film, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know about the other ones. That's very interesting. I'm gonna go and say that he is, but I'm not 100%. I like pretty much every horror subgenre except for creatures, and I do mean animals that attack. Yeah, I don't like creature films. I don't like. Yeah, I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't like ghost films, possession films. I don't like any of that. I just like slashers. That's my favorite type of horror, slasher films. That's it. If you want me to, I could give you a list of movies in the order supposed to watch them. Random Black. Yes. Can you do that, please? Because yeah, I would like to know like what the names of them are and whatnot, so I could try to watch them. Okay, Hannibal Rising, of course. Okay. Okay, so yeah, there is five films. Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to watch. I definitely want to watch. Try to watch them just to give it a try. Because again, I've never gave it a try. I haven't tried it out. Haven't watched it. Haven't. mean, I've heard of Hannibal Lecter, but I've never watched the films. Um, okay, number one, Manhunt. '02, The Silence of the Lambs. '03, Hannibal Lecter or Hannibal. Uh, oh wait, '01, Manhunt. '02, The Silence of the Lamb. Oh wait, what am I thinking? So number one, Manhunter. Number two, The Silence of the Lambs. Number three, Hannibal. Number four, Red Dragon, and number five, Hannibal Rising. Okay, and that was Hannibal Rising came out in 2007, right? Yeah, Manhunt. Man, I'm definitely gonna have to watch that film. Give it a try, give it a watch because I mean it just sounds fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to give it a watch. William Peterson. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know that actor. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. Try to give it a watch. For sure. Have you ever seen the TV show CSI? Yes, I've watched that before. Is it kind of similar to that film or that show or yeah, because I actually watched CSI and NCIS before, which NCIS is one of the best, like one of my favorite shows. Or I'm thinking of Law and Order. Oh, okay. So he's in CSI then. That's cool. Yeah, I'm thinking of a show called Law and Order, which that show is really really good. Law and Order. and NCIS, but I think it's Law and Order with that I like a lot. But yeah, there's a lot of good horror films out there. But yeah, I've heard rumors about. They need to make another. They need to make another film then. If it's, is it any good at all, or is it okay, or I've seen all three of them TV shows. Yeah, they're all great shows, especially Law and Order. Law and Order is definitely my like was my favorite. Like it would always be on TV. What are the movies about? Like, are they? So are they basically like? If you had to give them like a rating, what would you give them? I'm definitely gonna have to put that on my list. To watch. On a scale from 1 to 10, I give Hannibal Lecter movies an 8. That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. Maybe that's not like the best, but that's definitely solid. That's pretty good still. Like 8 is not a bad number at all. Like 8 is like pretty good, but it's still a good number. But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to call the night here. Be sure to look out for my stream, obviously tomorrow at 12:30 at noon. Now I know a lot of you are probably like going to be at work, possibly those of you that do work. Um, but I know a lot of you don't. There's a lot of people obviously that don't, but there's a lot of people that do. Um, so so yeah, I definitely want to. So that stream tomorrow at 12:30. Make sure if you can, if you can't make it, be sure to hit the like button for me. Um, but yeah, tomorrow we're definitely. So here's the deal. So obviously, you guys know tomorrow at 12:30, and then obviously we're doing another stream at 9:30 tomorrow night. Um, so so yeah, I hope to see you guys there. If not, if you guys can't make it to my noon stream at 12:30, then I guess I'll see you guys possibly at 9:30 then. Uh because I'm doing 2 streams tomorrow. So and I'm gonna try to and I've never did 2 streams before, like a one day, but I'm definitely gonna try to do it. Um definitely going to do it tomorrow. So we got 2 streams coming up tomorrow. We got 12:30 a 12:30 stream, and then a 9:30 stream. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. But I'm trying to explain the moves in some. Well, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Be sure to hit the like button. I really appreciate all the support from all you guys. Like, be sure to hit the like button as always and subscribe button. And be sure to look out for my stream, obviously tomorrow at 12:30, and then obviously the 9:30 stream. Obviously I got them like scheduled, so we'll be doing a 12:30 stream, then a 9:30. So it should be a lot of fun. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your night. I'm gonna call the night here. Again, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe button as always. And hope to see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Good night, everyone.